Peace be with you. So today's video is about depression. And the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of people feel that depression is purely a chemical imbalance, or at least that's what we've been told for the last several decades, where in fact this isn't entirely true. As a matter of fact, in July of this year, July 2022, an article came out in journal Nature, which basically it's a systematic review of journals in regards to the serotonin theory of depression, and the conclusion of the reviewers was basically that that is an unsupported theory. So the claim that depression is purely a chemical imbalance is absolutely false. It is absolutely unsupported by science. My thoughts on depression is we all experience it to differing degrees. None of our lives are pure happiness. Generally, depression is deficiency of something. It is deficiency of something, whether it's pure happiness, just wanting to be happy, or desiring different circumstances, desiring a spouse or a relationship or a better social standing or situation. And it is a disease of perception as much as it is of chemicals. Perceiving how our life is dictates whether we're going to be depressed about it or be grateful about it. And gratitude, what God teaches us to be actually, gratitude is the antidote to depression. They are the two sides of the same coin. If you really think about it, understanding life as God presents it, and then being grateful for the things that God has given us without being proud in them, really breeds happiness. That is actually instant happiness, because whoever is grateful is able to control their perception to such an extent to where they can keep the things that they're grateful for, things that are going well in their life, things that give them happiness in foresight, and put the negative things in hindsight. You know, they're ignore the negative things to a certain degree, not completely ignore them to where they're going to fester and destroy somebody's life, but able to ignore, not focus on them so much to where they control your life. For example, desire for more money. Not be obsessed with it to where if you never get a lot of money, to where your life will never be happy. If that's what you make happiness, then if you never get there, then you'll never be happy. So that's the other component of the disease we call depression, is goal setting. What should be your goal in life? And society, to a large degree, controls this. They control this. From early education to defining what success is for us, this is what gives us our mindset, and therefore creates a perception of success versus failure in our minds, which then drives this feeling we call depression. If the society tells you that being popular or being loved or being admired or being wealthy is the mark of success, you will try to be successful in order to be happy. That's the nature of a human being. A human being will work toward being successful. The trick is, who defines what success is? If you don't have the correct perception of life, if you don't obey God, if you don't understand why this life exists and why we exist and what the purpose of life is, then you're just going to rush from one thing to the next, chasing mirages. Exactly as God says in the Quran, you will be chasing mirages, never achieving happiness, and always suffering from the unhappy state we call depression. So it is the perception. It is perception. It is the societal definition of success. It is what we choose to define as success, or rather what is chosen for us. And then our experiences relating to that. That is, if that becomes our measuring stick, if other people become our measuring stick, then depression is always nearby. But if God becomes the measuring stick, if we consider what God thinks of us, if we think what God thinks of us, and we make obedience or submission to God our goal in life, and if we develop our character in such a way and are also able to be grateful, which comes along with developing such character, which means we can put the things that we have in the forefront of our minds and things that we do not have in the back of our minds, and focus on the positive, then it will be much easier to deal with depression, even when our situations warrant severe depression. This is what being a servant of God, a Muslim, is all about. To generate this frame of mind that allows you to escape perceptions that are negative for you, and perceive world with the clear eyes, with the correct thinking, to where you can avoid the disease we call depression. It is not a chemical imbalance. Again, there is a systematic review in the journal Nature that published in July of this year that says that there is no evidence of that, and that is clear. Depression is a clearly multifactorial disease. It is clearly multifactorial, and a large part of it has to do with how we perceive our life and what part of our life are we able to put in the forefront of our mind, which is what gratitude describes, is being able to focus on the positive and deal with the negative, because your focus is always on the positive. That's what grateful to be grateful means. So there is a cure in the Quran for this disease to a large extent. Not for everybody, but there is help. Maybe not cure, but there is help. Conditioning our mind to think correctly and being able to see through the noise that society has put in our heads and view the world with correct eyes will help with depression for anybody. But that takes work. It's a lot easier to pop a pill, I know, but that's not the fix. The fix is in your own head, that you have to work out with yourself and with God. That is depression, and you fix it with gratitude. And gratitude you gain through constant obedience to God, or attempts to constant obedience to God. That's it.